Working as a professional organizer, I see a lot of paper clutter. Stacks of papers in closets, on stairs, on kitchen counters, on dining room tables, and of course on the floor. Now, often paper clutter includes medical records, medical bills, and other papers related to doctor visits or a major diagnosis and insurance documents. In today's video, I'm showing you how to take a huge stack of paperwork, like the one pictured here, and access this information digitally or turn it into organized paper files. Hi, I'm professional organizer Katherine Lawrence. I'll help you live a life with less clutter so you can have space for the things that truly matter. The supplies and resources you're going to need for filing medical paperwork are some type of cloud storage like Dropbox or Google Docs, a smartphone with a note-taking app like Evernote, and several hanging file folders with clear tabs to print your labels, and full adhesive sticky notes to label your piles. I also think you should have some method of keeping track of online passwords. Personally, I use LastPass. Now, find a comfortable spot where you can spread out all those papers, like a bed or a dining room table or even the floor, and let's start sorting. The first step I take is to break down all those papers into 4 categories. Those categories are medical bills, insurance documents, research and information, and medical history. I'm going to file and store each of these categories in a separate way to make it easier to retrieve the information when needed. Now, a quick note, you never want to file away any active papers. So if you have bills that are currently due or documents you need to take some action on, like a form that needs to be signed or your child's vaccination records that you need to take to school, they will not be part of your filing system. They're going to be in your inbox or a project folder while you're still actively working on those papers. So let's take a look at our first category, which are medical bills. Now, when looking at a stack of papers, one of the first things you want to ask yourself, and what I would ask my clients, is do you need to keep this and for how long? Now, there are a couple of reasons my clients keep medical bills. They may take a medical deduction on their taxes. They may be getting a reimbursement from a job and they need to show proof of expenses. Or they may be in a shared custody situation with children and need to show medical expenses. So first decide if there's a tax or legal reason to keep medical bills. If there's not, set them aside and shred or recycle them. If there is a tax or legal reason to keep these bills, I recommend filing them by person if you are creating filing systems for the whole family, and by year. And I recommend filing them by year because for accounting reasons, it's standard to organize information on an annual basis. And you're going to want to make sure you're only filing one copy of that bill. So often when I'm organizing medical bills, I find many duplicates from the same appointment. So maybe the bill just wasn't paid or a partial payment was made. So just be mindful not to file too many multiple bills if you're just trying to account for one expense. Okay, your second category is insurance documents. Now, insurance documents include announcements, like if they're no longer covering a medication, or it could be information about a monthly premium or any change in benefits. Some jobs in the US have an annual enrollment period, so there's a lot of additional information that is sent out during that time to remind people to sign up for benefits. And Medicare sends out a lot of annual information in the form of these huge booklets. And you can see this is dated, like this one's 2019. This one's 2017. I find stacks of these in my clients' houses. The most important thing to understand about insurance documents is that they are usually very timely. So you're usually going to keep them just for the current year, if you need to even keep them at all. So if you're keeping them in paper form, each year you're going to get new information. I find paper files very limiting because what I find happening is that people will put in the 2019 insurance information, and then when the 2020 documents come along, they add those to the same file. And it's not uncommon for me to clear out a filing system that has insurance paper files for 5 to 10 years of information. So a lot of that is outdated. And what's happening is when the new information goes in, the old information is not going out. So the method that I prefer for managing insurance documentation is to get online access to the insurance company directly. And one of the biggest waste of trees, in my opinion, is something called an EOB, which is an explanation of benefits document. Now, I see stacks and stacks and stacks of EOBs in people's houses. And for that reason, I recommend that you log into your insurance company and request that you get that information digitally in a paperless document. Now, I went to the doctor recently, and instead of getting a paper EOB, because I requested online for my insurance company to send me something electronically, I just got this email, and then I can click through and look at it on my insurance website. So my recommendation is to get information online directly from your insurance company. Let them know you want notifications in paperless form, and then keep track of the login and passwords to your insurance provider. Now, the third category I call just research and information. The information packets given out at hospitals and doctor offices can really pile up. I'll show you, this was just from a doctor's visit, an information or patient information handbook, and these big folders, they do a lot of like folders of just general information. Here's a patient information handout or a handbook. So you can see that these really can take up a lot of space in someone's filing system. Now, these do not have any personal information about your medical history. It's just kind of generic information about like the facility. It's probably something you can find online. If there are some little notes from your doctor or any kind of information you want to keep, my recommended storage method, if you want to keep notes or handouts from doctors, is Evernote or some type of note-taking app on your phone. When I get information from my doctor about a supplement I should take or some stretches I need to do, or a specialist that they recommend that I see, I just snap a picture of that information on my phone and keep it in an Evernote folder called Health Notes. It's really difficult to keep track of all this information in a paper format. Evernote allows you to categorize things using tags or to search by keywords. It is the fastest way I have found to retrieve this collection of information. And you can keep track of prescriptions that you take just by snapping a photo of the bottle. Then you have all your health and medical research information in one searchable location. Let's take a look at our last category, which is medical history. Now, medical history includes major medical events like a diagnosis, surgery, work-related injury, or even just records on lab reports and vaccinations. This is a file that you are going to keep for a lifetime. I have clients that are very healthy, and this is a very small file, and I have clients that their medical history could fill an entire file drawer. The key to creating a medical history file is to not fill the folders with lots of extra stuff. So let's say you had shoulder surgery. That event could produce dozens, if not hundreds of pieces of paper from your doctor and insurance company, but the type of information you want to keep is much simpler. It's the date of the event, the procedure, the doctor's name, or where you had the procedure done. Try to keep in your medical history file just a few pages of information on each major incident. You can also scan these documents to the cloud and create a digital filing system. I also recommend getting online access to your medical provider and, of course, your insurance company so you can access records from your smartphone. It's really helpful to be able to access those records while you're in the doctor's office or share them with other family members. Okay, so let's review that approach to organizing medical records. First, you want to break down all that paper clutter into 4 categories, which are your medical bills, insurance documents, research and information, and medical history. And then next you want to decide if you need to keep it and be very selective and only keep the things that you need for tax or legal reasons. and for your major medical history. Then create file systems for each category, relying as much as possible on digital resources, such as getting a login to your insurance company and your doctor's office, as well as scanning your own documents and photographing papers for storage in Evernote. For more tips on dealing with paper clutter, check out my playlist on paper organizing. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos on downsizing, decluttering, and the business of organizing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.